Those inflation figures, fascinating, isn't it? That the Bank of England tell us there won't be any inflation. Then, oh, well, there is inflation, but it'll be transitory. And then they tell us it'll go down quickly next year. And today's figure was much worse than thought.
But you forgot a couple of installments with the Bank of England. Because remember, transient. Don't you worry about this. It's transient. We're recovering from the pandemic. We've never seen this. Don't worry your little head about it. Then we get another shock. We have the invasion of Ukraine. That's food and energy prices. Don't worry. If we lift interest rates, that's not going to do anything with food and energy prices. So don't worry your little head about it. Now we're hearing an entirely different line from not only the Bank of England, the Federal Reserve as well, saying, wait a second, this has got out of control. And if you want to get worried about central banks, look beyond Andrew Bailey. And let's get back to him, because sometimes his communication isn't entirely great. But look at Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve. Over the summer, he said, I now understand how much I didn't understand about inflation. Does that not scare you?
Yeah, I mean, the level of incompetence of a central bank has been astonishing. So, retail price index touching 14%. It is the highest in 41 years. There is, in my mind, I believe that inflation is a disease of money caused by government and excessive money creation. It's here for some time, isn't it?
Well, you're one of the few people fixating on RPI, retail price inflation, except for the Treasury, or perhaps the Treasury should be thinking about it a little bit more even, because that's what index links gilt. That's what our debt interest that we pay on when we borrow. That's what it's priced off, change in the RPI rather than the CPI. So it is important, and it's good that you're bringing that up.
Yeah. Tomorrow, as we go into recession, we're going to have the tax burden rising. We're told there'll be some spending cuts, though I can't see where they're going to come from. Wouldn't it make more sense, given the mess we're in, just to scrap HS2, save $100 billion, not attack small business and not put taxes up?
Look, it depends on where you spend. I'm a little bit concerned that cutting the spending is cutting at the. You said we're heading into a recession. We may already be in one. We know that GDP contracted in the third quarter. We've talked a lot about economic orthodoxy recently, right? Another bit of economic orthodoxy is don't cut spending when you're in a recession. This is the time where you need government to help people a little bit. HS2, it's not entirely clear what that would do for the economy immediately, but it tends to be the...
Nothing. I mean, even if HS2 does...
I let you get into that one, didn't I?
Well, no, but I mean, even if it does bring big benefit, that's not for 15 years.
Well, absolutely. There is nothing that's going to help in this recession, which we assume is coming. And a lot of economists have underestimated how badly the U.S., the EU are going to do. It may be that things aren't quite as bad as the Bank of England thinks they will be. It's not as if the Bank of England has covered itself in glory with its forecasting over the past couple of years. But you're right. A big infrastructure engineering project like HS2 is not going to give us much growth in the short term.
Are you pessimistic about tomorrow? Do you think Hunt's in the right direction or not?
I think Hunt is playing to the markets. I think that anybody right now has to play to the markets after what we saw after the 23rd of September. I think that cutting too quickly right now is probably going to exacerbate the downturn we're going into.